I hope you have your coffee. I have mine right here. Black with just a dash of cinnamon. Break room. It's amazing. It's amazing what they can do with coffee now. Anyway, today I thought I'd read a couple passages from a book and then talk about those passages with you. So, make sure your coffee's still hot. We're going to start. We're going to be reading from this book, which might be mirrored right now, but it's Discipline Equals Freedom Field Manual MK1-Mod 1, expanded edition. You can tell it's expanded because this dude's face is bigger than it was on the original. I have both. I also have a PDF copy of the original if you want to peruse it. The first one, boys and girls, is called Compromise, which is backwards for you. And that's okay, because backwards is cool. I love backwards. Like crisscross. You younger kids might not know what that is, so Google it. All right, we're gonna get comfy. Put my leg up. Compromise. When working with other people in dynamic situations and relationships and deals, a person must compromise. Finding the common ground between teams. Merging different approaches to the same problem. Bridging personalities with people who might not get along. Reaching agreements and courses of action. All of these require compromise, and in many cases, a failure to compromise is a failure to succeed. But those are external compromises, with other people, other humans that have their own personalities and ethos and issues. And compromise is needed to unify. So to work with them, compromise is a must. But internally, it's different. With myself, I have to hold the line. There are areas within myself where I cannot compromise. I am going to work hard. I am going to train hard. I am going to improve myself. I am not going to rest on my laurels. I am going to own my mistakes and confront them. I am going to face my demons. I'm not going to give up or give out or give in. I'm going to stand. I am going to maintain my self-discipline, and on those points, there will be no compromise. Not now, not ever. So, how many compromises do you make with yourself a day? How many times do you say, I'll do it tomorrow? Or, I worked really hard yesterday. I'm going to take it easy today. Meanwhile, you're stagnating. Meanwhile, your goals are not getting accomplished. Meanwhile, your work isn't being accomplished, or at least to the level that you expect from yourself or others expect from you. So, compromise with other people, work with everyone. It's what you have to do, and it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. But when it comes to yourself, don't compromise with yourself. Don't make excuses for yourself. The other passage from this book I want to read is called Fear of Failure. Fear of failure. And I know it's backwards. We've already discussed that. That's fine. Fear of failure. Fear of failure can keep you from taking the risk. It can leave you sitting there, paralyzed into not taking action, and that is obviously bad. But I don't want you to overcome fear of failure. I want you to be afraid of failure. Fear of failure is good. Fear of failure will keep you up at night, planning, rehearsing, going over contingencies. Fear of failure will keep you training hard. Fear of failure will stop you from cutting corners. Fear of failure will keep you working, thinking, striving, and relentlessly trying to be more prepared for battle. So I want you to be afraid of failing. I fear failure. But more important, I want you to be horrified, terrified of sitting on the sidelines and doing nothing. That is why I want you to be afraid of waking up in 6 days or 6 weeks or 6 years or 60 years and being no closer to your goal. You have made no progress. That is the horror. That is the nightmare. That is what you really need to be afraid of, being stagnant. So, get up and go. Take the risk, take the gamble, take the first step, take action, and don't let another day slip by. So, failure is scary. That's one of people's major fears, is like public speaking, death, and failing, right? All fears. Public speaking is an easy fear to get over if you try, if you practice. Not for all people, but for most. Fear of death is, well, you're going to die anyway, so. But I understand it. I get it. I have empathy for that fear. Fear of failure, that's a tough one, right? So, but I think he's right. I think you should be afraid of failure. And then if you take steps to overcome that so that you know you won't fail, I think you'll be better off. And remember, failure is only when you don't get up after hitting a roadblock, after hitting a barrier, after hitting a wall. Fall down 7 and get up 8 is an old proverb, right? So you can fail 7 times, but as long as you keep going, you're good. Think about all the successful people in life. Think about the people that you know that have made it. How many failures do they have, right? If they're honest, they're going to say a lot. If they're not honest, they're going to say, no, this is all talent. I got here by myself. I succeeded at everything. They're lying to you. That's okay. Some people don't like to admit their failures. It's okay. So, what are we going to do? Some action items for you. All right. 1, we're not going to compromise with ourselves. Bottom line, not going to compromise with ourselves. We're not going to give ourselves excuses. We're not going to lie to ourselves and say, I'll do this tomorrow, or I'll do better on this tomorrow. No, today. And also, we're going to find ways of overcoming failure, of not failing, of making plans, sticking to them, executing them, and keep going on. Using that fear to drive you. Negative emotions can be very powerful motivators. Nobody likes being stressed, right? So people take steps to avoid getting stressed. Now, there's 2 ways people do that. 1, they systemize everything, right? Meticulously plan out their day, and with some wiggle room in case they have to put out some fires, right? And then there's a second type of avoiding stress, and that's the doing nothing, which is not good. So, and it ties into what's behind me here, and I know it's backwards for you, but I'm still going to read it. So, this is the successful people and unsuccessful people thing. Some of you might have this in a card, right, with the values on the back. Or this might be the back, the values might be the front. It depends on how you look at it and what your perception is. Everything's about perception. Point of view. I learned that in Star Wars. All right, so successful people read every day. They compliment. They embrace change. They forgive others. They talk about ideas. They continuously learn. They accept responsibility for their failures. They have a sense of gratitude, and they set goals and develop life plans. Unsuccessful people, on the other hand, watch TV every day. Garbage TV, right? Keeping Up with the Kardashians, if that's even on anymore. Things like that. They criticize people. They fear change. They hold a grudge. They talk about people. They're not. They think they know it all. They blame others for their failures, and they have a sense of entitlement, and they never set goals, which unfortunately is the vast majority of people fall into that red section there. So, which one would you rather be, green or red? And as it happens, it's almost Christmas time. These are like perfect colors, but be on the green part, right? So I love talking with you. I love sitting down in the morning, having a cup of coffee with you. It's good to catch up. So, finish your coffee, and I'll see you next week. Have a good one.